Hey everybody, welcome to the show. This is Dr. Levi with your show, The Dr. Levi Show. Today is May 23rd, 2018. Absolutely beautiful day in LA as per usual. You know, no rain today, slightly overcast when I was coming in from the valley, but still very, very beautiful. So I hope wherever you are today, you're going to make it a great day. Lots to discuss today. You know, I want to really focus on health today, specifically health for your body overall. And then I'm going to answer a lot of questions today from gamers from all over the world about issues that they have. Some are from the gamers, some are from their parents. And then I want to talk about something that's really extraordinarily serious and very intense, and that is suicide in the gaming community. I want to address that because I think it's a very, I want to say, almost secretive type issue that it's not really discussed, and it needs to have some light shed in that area. So I want to talk about that also. So I'm really happy to have you with me today. Let's first talk about weight loss. I want to give you several sustainable weight loss tips. These are things that I think if you do them, they'll help you tremendously to have sustainable weight loss. So often people contact my office about, well, Dr. Levi, how do I lose weight for an event? Well, I don't want you to talk about events as much as the event of your life. Your life is an event. Your life is an event that you want to live to its fullest. And how can you do that? Well, by maintaining one of the first gifts that you get, hopefully, and that is your health. So if you have your health, you have a lot. Without your health, you really are missing many, many, many things in life. So I want to give you some sustainable weight loss tips. So number one, make sure you're aware of the portions that you're eating. So instead of eating off of a large platter, because you think about it, in Americans, the plate that we eat off of for dinner or for lunch, they're huge. So what about eating off of a saucer instead of a plate? That alone will give you portion control. So number one, you're going to eat less, which is really, if you think about it, it's a no-brainer. We really have to eat less, consume fewer calories. The second, stay well hydrated during the day. Make sure that you're drinking a lot of water throughout the day. Well, what's a lot? Well, a lot depends on what you're doing. Are you very active during the day? Are you very stationary? So you want to make sure that you're staying very well hydrated throughout the day. And I recommend a minimum of 6 to 8, glasses of water per day. Minimum, really. You want to stay well hydrated because that's good, of course, for your overall body, for the organs of your body, especially for your kidneys, your liver, your blood, your brain. Everything needs to be hydrated to work effectively, including your heart. So that's number two, to drink a lot of water and to drink appropriately. The second is to be aware of how much you're snacking. So often people will tell me, well, I only snack 4 or 5 times a day. Well, that's a lot. You may also want to be aware of what are you snacking on. Are you eating a few almonds, a few walnuts, carrot sticks, or are you eating granola mix that's filled with carob and candy bits and pieces of chocolate and a lot of peanuts and things like that? So those are something that you need to be aware of. I want to share this with you. One of my patients just recently, she's asking me about the issue of why she wasn't losing weight as efficiently as she and I thought she would, because she was doing everything else. And finally, I told her, I said, look, I want to go through all these basic questions that we talked about before. And then when I got to number 5, it was about snacks. I said, well, what about your snacks? And she said, well, I only snack 3, maybe 2 times a day. I said, well, tell me about your snacks. What are they? So her snacks, I thought, was very interesting, something that I wouldn't eat. Just the thought of it actually is for me, it was in my mind, I was thinking I wouldn't be able to eat this, wouldn't feel good to me. I don't know if it would taste good either. But her go-to snacks were the following: 2 or 3 times a day, she was eating toast that had peanut butter on the bread with jelly, with granola mix, with bananas, and this was panini style, she said, where she pressed it down, and then she would fry that in butter into 2 of those sandwiches and cut them into 8 pieces. And she'd have like 2 or 3 pieces 2 or 3 times a day. So, and that was on, white bread. So we talked about how that was not a really healthy snack. So then I asked her, I said, what about any other snacks? So the other snack that she had was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, again, with bananas in the sandwich with something called, I didn't even know they still made this, cheese whiz that she put on the bread and then panini the bread and cut that into 4 pieces and have like 2 of those sandwiches a day. So I told her, I said, I'm not judging you. I said, but the bottom line is this is not an effective snack. This is not an effective way to lose weight if you're eating that. And so she told me, she said, well, I do it every other day. One day she has the granola type sandwiches, and the other day is the peanut butter cheese whiz type sandwiches. So, I had to let her know that that's not the way to go. So now she's back to carrot sticks and a plain granola mix without any chocolate or candy bits or pieces in it. And so we'll see what happens. I'm sure she'll do much better. And she told me really interesting. I thought it was great. She said, a snack, we all define that differently. She said you should really talk about that on your show so that people really have a reference point. So that's why I wanted to do it today. So a snack, think about it. I always think a snack is, imagine what you can put in your hand and cut that into 4 pieces, I told her. So just think about a handful of granola. Put that handful into 4 different little Ziploc bags, for example. So that's saying you don't have all of it in one bag, in 4 different bags, and then you eat from one bag, 4 times a day. That's it. Versus a whole handful in every bag, that's a lot. Unlike what she was doing, she told me she had the concept of that. I said cut everything into a quarter, then she could do anything, like these sandwiches that she was eating, and that's not going to work. All right. So, again, you want to be aware of what you're eating, portion control, be aware of what you're snacking on, how much water that you're drinking throughout the day. And then the 4th thing I want to tell you about is not eating late at night. So I recommend not eating either after 7 p.m. or 2 hours, maybe 3 hours before you go to bed at night. That I think these basic caveats will really help you so that your body can rest at night, clear itself, and then you're ready for the next day. Now, the next thing I have to talk about, of course, and you already know I'm going to say this, and that is you have to move. I always say that if you're moving, you're winning. So you have to move your body. Now, let me tell you, you don't have to do a lot. You don't. But you have to do something. So I challenge you every day to do something to keep your body moving. So with that said, possibly walking 15 minutes a day. What about twice a day for 15 minutes? And not just casually walking, but walking at a nice pace, all right, where you really feel like you're getting some work in, that you're burning some calories. Now, how can you augment your workout with a walk or with a hike? Well, wear a weight vest. A 10-pound, a 20-pound, a 40-pound, or a 50-pound weight vest. I have a 50-pound weight vest that I use twice a week. I go for a hike of about a mile, sometimes 3 miles. But I tell you, after those 3 miles, I am feeling it. And I go really, really intensely when I'm moving. So you can do that. And trust me, on a frame that is 162 pounds, and I add on another 50 pounds and I'm walking with that, trust me, I feel all of that. So that's something you can do to augment your workout. The other thing you can do, of course, to intensify, is to use weights in your hands when you're walking. That will help you also. I think the weight belt is extremely, extremely effective. The next thing I want to talk to you about is building community when you're working out. So have your wife, your husband, your partner, your spouse, your neighbor, have them do things with you. So maybe you can confirm with your neighbor that you'll walk together every day, no matter how cold it is, how windy, how wet it is outside, that no matter what, you're going to go for this walk at the same time every day. Now, of course, I know life is very flexible and malleable and things pop up, of course. I understand that. However, you do want to do your best to stay on target and to really Be sure that you're doing this every day. Now, when it comes to working out, I hear this often, I want to address it, is what about a cheat day, a day that you take off completely? I'm not a fan. No. We eat every day. We do things every day. Why not work out every day? Now, the goal is really simple. When you take that day of quote-unquote rest, it doesn't have to be a true rest day. Maybe instead of going to the gym and working out really hard, or going to a high-intensity interval training class, or going to a Zumba class, or a dance class, or a pole dancing class, whatever it may be. Instead of doing that, maybe going for a long hike for 45 minutes or an hour. But to do something every day to appreciate your body. The body is a very dynamic, kinematic organ that needs movement. It needs you to do stuff to it so that it can feel better and stay healthy and become more strong, better muscular endurance, better cardiovascular endurance, greater flexibility, greater overall strength. These are things we have to do. All right, working out is non-negotiable. We have to do something every day. So build a community. Have an accountability buddy that you work out with. That will help you also, so that when they don't feel like working out, you motivate them. When you don't feel like working out, hopefully they will motivate you. Now, let's talk about the other, what I call the elephant in the room with respect to working out. And that is what I call the art of comparison. Don't compare yourself to anybody when you're working out. There's no need. Why? Because you take you wherever you go. So don't worry about comparing yourself to your neighbor, your mother, your father, your husband, your wife, your lover, your spouse, the person that you work with, the other person in the gym. They don't even matter. Because only you can work your body. Only you can do you. Why? Because I've said 1,000+ times on this show, you take you wherever you go. So you want to take a you that is healthy, that feels good, and don't compare yourself to anyone else because they don't pay your bills. They don't. You know, when you look in the mirror, you don't see them, you see you. When you put your clothes on, if they're fitting tight or they're fitting loose, guess what? Those are your clothes and your body, not their clothes, not their body. So you want to have the best, strongest body that you can have, the best and the strongest body that you can have. That's what I want you to manifest. You can only do that with work. You have to show up. You have to do the work. You know, one thing about a fit body looks fit. Why? Because that body has gone through the sacrifice and sometimes the discomfort and sometimes the mild pain of working out to get something accomplished, to have the biceps, the six-pack, the eight-pack, the great abs, the great glutes, the great calves, the great thighs, the great chests, the great arms, the great legs. All of those things take work. You know, we all are not Beyonce waking up flawless. It would be great if that were the case, but Queen Bee, she sits on the throne by herself. Or you know, so many other people in the world who are extraordinarily beautiful. You know, they're gifted like that. But guess what? They still work out. They really do. You know, from the amazing Beyonce to all these other great artists and amazing people who also do the work. They work out. All right. Now, let's. Okay, so I wanted to give you those tidbits and caveats about how to sustain weight loss. The other thing I want to remind you of, the last thing, is to make sure you diversify your workout. So change your workout every 2 to 3 weeks to do something different so that the big boredom word doesn't sneak into your workout. Because I know for myself, when I become bored, I'm not motivated to do those things. So we have to do those things that are different. So instead of only doing a CrossFit class, maybe do a different type of fitness class. Maybe do a different dance class. Maybe instead of doing the treadmill, do the stair climber. Do the recumbent bike. Do the rowing machine. Do different things so you can wake up and address different muscle groups so you can attain better sustainable fitness and overall strength, all right? diversity for a workout, these things are extraordinarily important. You have to do that to let your body know that you appreciate it and that you want to be fit, that you want to be healthy, and that a healthy body also will help you to have a healthy mind, because working out does the other thing. It decreases the amount of stress that we have in our lives. So we have to work out. Again, it is non-negotiable. Working out is a good thing, all right? So I hope that helps you, and I'll put all those tips on the website so you'll see them. And also, if you have questions, of course, you can also, contact me via Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'm on all those social media, YouTube, every social media platform. I think I'm on it. So you can contact me there. And I look forward to interacting with you and hopefully answering your questions to make you a better you. That's my goal. Because as I make you a better you, guess what? I make me a better me, because I learned so much from the audience. So I thank you for being my greatest teacher. I'm really, really grateful for you. Now, let's talk about many of your questions now for the gaming community that I have. So these are some of the many questions that we've gotten, and I want to review them. So one is, what's the average cost of a consultation? So let's talk about that. For myself, number one, I don't turn away anyone in my practice. So the average cost depends on the type of insurance you have and what you can afford. So the bottom line is, if you can't pay whatever that fee is that you and I discussed, then we talk about breaking it down into payments, or we'll talk about decreasing it tremendously. But I will always extend care to people. I've never, in all my years of practice and solo practice, I've never and never will turn away anyone who needs my help. I help veterans, I help my neighbors, I help anyone who needs my help, my expertise. My goal is to be of service. I live my life like that, and I believe that's why the universe has blessed me so abundantly and so ceaselessly, because I give so much. And I think it's in giving that we get so much back. And remember, you only get what you're willing to give away. So give, 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 and trust me, the universe sees it, feels it, and knows the authenticity of giving. And, of course, you get that back just 10, 20-fold, all right? So now I want to answer some questions. So that's the question about the average cost. So there really isn't an average cost. We just work out the cost. All right. Now, the next question is, my son has wrist, hand, and back issues with no diagnosis and has done all the tests possible, gaming related. He's now on heavy medication. He believes you're the only one capable of finding a diagnosis. We're in Quebec, Canada. So let's talk about that. So I love Quebec, and I love going there because it gives me an opportunity to speak French. Beautiful place, extraordinarily beautiful part of Canada. So I'll tell you this. If you come here, I will see your son. I will do my best to get him well. I'll give you a whole outline of things I think that will benefit his health. So I'd like you to call my office, and we'll talk about setting up a plan. And also, I want to say I may be in Quebec, not for a while, I think sometime next year. But, you can definitely come here, and I will definitely see him. My office number, you can get it from the website. My website, of course, is drleviharrison.com. We'll put that on the banner in a little bit. You'll see that. It's www.drleviharrison.com. drleviharrison.com. That's my website. And my office number is 818-240-8001. So I'll do my best to help you and help your son. All right? Now, next question is, Dr. Levi, with taking gelatin and vitamin C might lead to increased collagen synthesis. Hi, Dr. Levi. 2 months further recovery is slowly progressing, but incredibly slow. I wanted to ask you your opinion about a paper by Keith Baer, B-A-A-R. It shows that using gelatin and vitamin C might lead to increased collagen synthesis. I don't have the medical knowledge to presume that this would be effective in a state of tendinosis. Could you share your opinion, which I will in no way confuse with binding medical advice? All right. Well, thank you for the question. So let me say this. I haven't seen a lot of great double-blind studies about increasing collagen production globally with vitamin C gelatin tablets. But I'll say this. And I have to share this with you. You know, when I give my opinions about things, again, I want to remind you with this disclosure is that, and disclaimer is that, you know, I'm giving you my opinion and advice about things that you have to have evaluated by your doctor in your local community. You know, because I'm just talking virtually. I'm not here. You're not here so I can actually do a complete history and physical as well as talk to you about what's going on. So I tell everybody, and I say this again over and over, it's important that no matter what I'm talking about here on this show, that you be sure to be seen by your local healthcare provider. That's really, really important, okay? So with that said, I would say this. I'll do more research about the study, and I'll address it the next time we talk about this. You know, one thing we know about vitamin C is that, you know, it helps with your overall body's rate and synthesis of antioxidants. That we know. However, you know, with respect to increasing collagen synthesis, I have to do more research about that. And I like to say things where I have a science base. So if someone asks me, I can say, hey, here's a paper. You can go right there. This is where I got that information from. All right? But the author of the paper, you guys can look it up also, is Keith, Keith, Bear, or maybe Bar, Baar. All right? Now, so the next question is, exercise for hand, finger, and elbow pain. Hi, doctor. I'm a professional Dota 2 player. I think I really need your help, and I would be really grateful to get some feedback and advice from you. Okay, so exercise for hand, finger, and elbow pain. So some of the basic ones, I'll just push back from the table here to show you. For hand, elbow pain. Again, for elbow pain, I've shown these before. One of my favorite exercises is the inertial exercises. You know, I have to share this with you. I did get a comment via email from someone who said, we're not going to call them the inertial exercises, we're going to call them the Levi exercises. Well, I got to tell you, though, it doesn't matter what you call them. What does matter is that you do the exercises. So take a look. So elbow out, extended and straight, wrist is down. Hold this for 30 seconds. 30 seconds. And you're going to feel the stretch through the lateral epicondylar region, all right? And this is for ECRB, ECRL issues, lateral epicondylitis, sometimes referred to as tennis elbow. Then you're going to hold that for 30 seconds. Then you're going to put your hand up like this. This will be slightly more painful usually for most people, including myself sometimes. Now you're going to put your hand up this way and then pull back your fingers and your hand and hold this for 30 seconds, but you keep the elbow straight. And this always, no matter what I do, how much I do, this always hurts actually a little bit. And you hold that for 30 seconds. All right? And that's for the elbow. Now, for hand and finger, again, here, piano, in and out, in and out. Open your fingers, in and out. The thumb has to be, the thumb is the captain of the hand. The thumb, roll your thumbs this way for a set of 20. Roll them back for a set of 20. Small finger, down and up. Out with the small finger, up and down, around the world, back around the world. So I have to tell you, too, another email I had a while ago where someone asked me, well, do I have extra muscles in my finger to move my small finger like that? I don't. You can do it also. So, again, it's just the small finger in and out, up and down, around the world, back around the world, in and out with all fingers. The thumb around, back around. Then hold your tight fist in and out, open, thumb inside, hold, open, thumb across, thumb inside, instead of 20. Those are some of the basic ones. And for the wrist, I hear hold, we call this a prayer pose. Hold that, press your fingers together, elbows up. Then reverse, this will be more difficult and more painful. The back of your hands together, hold, and then drop your elbows. This always feels intense, even when I do this myself. So again, back of your hands together, fingers together, drop your elbows and hold that for 30 seconds, of course. All right, so those are some of the basics that I think will help you. Now, next question here is a part 2, exercise for hand and fingers, elbow for Dota players. So those I think for Dota will definitely help. The next question is, I had a really big tendonitis inflammation in my right arm that hurt really badly, and I made pauses from playing. Then I went to the physical therapy, and it got better. When I get back to playing again, it starts again, and my forearm hurts. Sometimes elbow, wrist, and fingers hurt too. I also started working out now, and it hurts. What would you recommend that I do? Are there any exercises to cure that, or what checkups I should do? I really want to play normally and get back to playing. It's my job without these pains. Thank you a lot for your attention, Dr. Levi, and your time. I'm really looking forward to getting your reply. Okay, so again, for DOTA, those are the ones that I recommend, those specific ones. And the other thing I would say, too, is if you're working out, make sure you're stretching after you work out. A lot of times people say, well, I do the stretches, Dr. Levi, when I'm playing, but then when I work out, I don't do them. Well, you have to do them also. So don't only simply do those stretches when you're playing. Playing is a workout, of course, but then when you do your other workout in the gym, or even not at the gym, just your regular push-ups, sit-ups, squats, sprinting, burpees, my favorite exercise, burpee. When you're doing those exercises, still do some of those same stretches. Don't forget, I have a whole cadre of exercises on the internet that you can do. So just pull from my website and do those exercises. And then let me know if these things I talked about today were effective for you as a Dota 2 player. All right, now, next question. Possible to start a competitive career with an injury? I don't know if you have worked with players of Super Smash Bros. Melee, but I'm wanting to start getting into the competitive scene. In your opinion, do you think it is okay to try to get into the scene with an already bad wrist? Well, I would say you definitely want to be as healthy as you can before you start competitive play. Why? Because many of the competitive players that I take care of, professional players, they will actually play from 12 to 18 hours a day sometime, 4 to 6 times a week, which is a tremendous amount. So I recommend that you get as healthy and as fit as possible before you start competitive play. And then you'll be ready to roll, and then you can stay healthy, hopefully. All right? So, I want to reinstate and restate this again. I recommend that you get as healthy as possible first before you put your body under the pressures and stress that professional players put themselves under. Because, the professional players, they are really extraordinary athletes. And those are gamers as well as the esports players. So I want to remind you, get as healthy as you can before. All right? And hopefully I can help you with that. All right? Do the exercises, do the stretches, do the strengthening exercises. Work out, eat properly, stay fit, keep your weight under control, minimize your stress, and of course meditate. Meditation is a part of the gaming community that I want to really push, because I think meditation, creative visualization are really essential parts of being a winner in your life and of being very, very not only healthy physically, but being healthy physically, spiritually, and psychologically. I think meditation is really a critical part of taking out the minutiae of life and really bringing in the healthy victory part of life. All right? So next question. Why won't my middle finger move like it should? I've been playing Osu for years. I've always had a weak left wrist hand, therefore I'm always clicking much slower than others. Let's get to the point. I took a break from Osu for 8 months because my wrist hurt like crazy. I recently started playing again, and this happens in every game I play. My middle finger doesn't move like it should playing Osu. It is possible my finger just stops when I want to click, and this happens every time. I want to use my index and middle finger together, so I had to switch my play style into the index and ring finger. But I'm getting this top hand pain, but also a bit wrist pain. I've watched your videos. I'm doing the stretches a lot, yet my hand hurts and my fingers are incredibly slow compared to my right hand fingers. Do you have any advice for the things that have happened to my middle finger? Seems like nerve damage, and it is the reason I took the break from Osu. Yet it is still the same after so long. Are there any stretches or something that might increase my finger speed? Are there any specific stretches for top hand pain? Now, and then the other part of this is home remedies for finger pain. What home remedy can be taken for painful stimulus on your fingers? My dad ripped a part of the finger known as finger quit and it's hurting since last night. So I don't totally understand that question, but I'm gonna respond as best I can. So the bottom line is this: Osu is a great game, very difficult game. I played it a few times myself. You have the tablet, you have the board. I mean, it's a rhythmic game that takes a lot of eye and hand coordination. Very, very tough. And I took care of, and I did a video a while ago with Happy Stick, and Happy Stick is one of the top gamers in the world. I think he's number 5 in the world, I believe, with Osu. He's a phenomenal guy, good guy, and a great Osu player. Not good Osu player, he's a great Osu player. So hats off to Happy Stick. So let's talk about this. So if your finger, you said, doesn't move right, you may be developing something called trigger finger, and I want you to look this up. Trigger finger is also called stenosing, S-T-E-N-O-S-I-N-G, stenosing tenosynovitis, T-E-N-O-S-Y-N-O-V-I-T-I-S. So if your finger is locking or not moving properly, you may need to have therapy for that finger, or maybe acupuncture, or possibly an injection. In my practice, often if therapy and acupuncture are not effective modalities of treatment, then I'll give someone an injection with a steroid called Kenalog and Marcaine. And in my practice, what I find is about 60% of people, the locking and pain in that finger and a mobility issue resolves from 2 weeks to 2 to 5 years. Then it may come back. And I find in my practice now, these are results in my practice, 30% of people, one injection, and sometimes a secondary micro or mini injection of the same, it will go away forever. They have no problems. And then 10% of people, it doesn't seem to affect them at all. They still have the locking and pain, therefore they need surgery, which is a quick 5-minute surgery to release the A1 pulley, all right? So let's talk about that. So I recommend this for Osu. Let me give you some specific Osu exercises. So take a look. Duck mouth here, in and out, just like this. Hold, in and out. This is very difficult. So duck mouth, set of 20. Hold in the duck mouth position, then in and out with your fingers. All right? The next one, here, with your wrist. So remember, we've done these before. Now I want you to bring in your wrist. Bring in your wrist. Because with Osu, there's a lot of this I call gliding movements. So gliding movements, I always say, need to have this type of stretch and this type of exercise to increase the strength of that. All right, so those are 2 specific exercises that I have for Osu that I think will be really effective, that may help you. And then let me know how you're feeling with those. All right, now the next question is, again, and for finger pain, the other thing you can do for finger pain is submerge your hands in warm water for 5 to 10 minutes before you're playing, and then 5 to 10 minutes after you're playing. Or what you can do is I have a video called the water bowl exercises, where these are exercises that you can do with your hands in a bowl of warm water. So look those up also, and I think that will help you. All right, now I'm going to keep moving because we have a lot of questions here. The next is wrist cracking while exercise something to be worried about? I recently started doing some of your exercise, but when I twist my left wrist or do exercises with weights, I feel and hear some sort of suspicious cracking sound. Should this bother me as much as it does, or is this a symptom of not exercising for a long time? Well, often it's just an issue of if you have cracking in your wrist and your joints, it often is just simply nitrogen or gas bubbles in your joints. We know now, of course, we had a lot of research that shows that, we used to have this old wives' tale, I call it, that if you are cracking your knuckles, then it means you're going to increase the amount of arthritis in your joints. We know that's not the case at all, at least at this point. So I recommend that if you're not having pain, that you still see your healthcare practitioner to ask them, because maybe you have some arthritic changes in your joints, so we can take a look at that via x-ray or MRI to see what your hands look like, all right? So I would say, again, number one, cracking without pain is often not symptomatic of any major issues. However, I still say be seen by your local healthcare professional to be sure about that. All right? So they can evaluate you, do a history and physical, and of course, maybe get some x-rays to look at everything. All right? Now, next question. But again, often cracking with no pain, usually not an issue. Cracking with pain, it needs to be evaluated extensively, appropriately. Next question. Pain from my middle finger that radiates up my arm. I followed your tips for a few months now. I'm also doing physiotherapy regularly, but my problem seems to get worse or not changing sometimes. It basically starts when I need to use my middle finger. It gives me a little shock on the finger itself and part of the arm, as well as pain in the elbow. I can play for much longer if I don't use my middle finger. I already tested that. I'm doing breaks more often between games and everything. I do exercises and physiotherapy, but the problem has persisted for months now. I want to avoid surgery at all costs. I agree with you there. My career is in risk right now. My career is at risk right now. I have important tournaments coming up. I have an exam called electromyography booked already. Do you have an idea of what exactly is the problem? Okay, so if electromyography is done, EMG nerve conduction study, often we do that when we feel someone may have carpal tunnel syndrome or some form of nerve impingement syndrome. Nerve impingement syndrome is the upper extremity. The most common, of course, is carpal tunnel syndrome, which is impingement of the median nerve here at the wrist. The second common one is cubital tunnel syndrome, impingement of the ulnar nerve at the elbow by multiple things that can cause that problem to occur. All right, so if they're doing that exam, they want to look at to see if your nerve is compromised, if it has decreased blood supply there, if it's working properly, if it's not working at all, if it's not firing properly. These are things they want to test for the EMG nerve conduction study, electromyography, nerve conduction velocity test. All right. Now, if you're having issues with your small finger, often if you have, there's a test that we do called the middle finger extension test. So someone puts their middle finger up, and the physician, he or she, will try to push the finger down, and they'll have pain in the elbow and the forearm. This is often associated with lateral epicondylitis, as I talked about earlier, also called tennis elbow. So with that said, do the inertial exercises. I'm hoping and believing that that will help you, but also continue to get care by your local healthcare doctor, all right? So inertial exercises, the ones I did earlier, hold for 30 seconds, up, hold for 30 seconds, all right? And do the hand finger strengthening exercise. There are many of those online that you can do. All right. Now, next question is, why do the fingers on my right hand vibrate, sir? I'm unaware about what I suffer from, but my fingers vibrate when my hands are still occasionally, almost half of the time, and I'm unable to straighten my right index finger in a certain position of my hand. The vibration is spread initially only to my right thumb and was affected by how now even the index and middle finger have started vibrating. I don't know what to do. So let's talk about that. I've seen vibration hands sometime in people who do a lot of mouse use, a lot of tapping with their mouse instead of keeping their hand fairly straight and in what we call, this is called a neutral position of the hand. They'll have their wrist either hyperflexed or hyperextended. They do a lot of tapping on the computer. A lot of typing, a lot of texting. I see this, I call it vibration hand. Now, the way I treat vibration hand is the following. Number one, you have to rest the hands. Number two, I recommend, again, putting your hands in warm water at least 2 or 3 times a day for 4 to 5 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes if you can take it. And then the other thing is to decrease the amount of gaming or texting or typing that you're doing every day. That also seems to help. And this, I recommend you do this, decrease the amount that you're doing for at least 3 to 5 weeks so that your nerves can sort of calm down, all right? Now, the other thing, too, if you're having numbness and tingling in your hands like this, often I see this associated with carpal tunnel syndrome. So like the other person who asked me the question about vibration in their hands and the numbness and tingling in their thumb and index finger, middle finger, like you're having, this can also be associated with carpal tunnel syndrome. Carpal tunnel syndrome is often associated with numbness and tingling in the thumb index finger, middle finger, half of the ring finger, decreased grip strength, pain that awakens you up at night, numbness and tingling, and lack of dexterity in the hand. These are all pathognomonic for issues that are associated with the carpal tunnel syndrome. So if you're having that, yes, be seen by your local doctor. 2, they may want to get an EMG nerve conduction study. 3, they may want to have physical therapy. Or 4, like myself, they want to have you start with acupuncture, which I found to be very efficacious for initial stages of carpal tunnel syndrome. All right? Now, I hope that helps you. Next question is, why is it no longer comfortable, Dr. Levi, to use a mouse? Dr. Levi, I need your help. I've been playing computer games for all of my life, and I've never had any problems with my gaming. But 4 months ago, I developed a strange problem. I can't find a comfortable mouse grip. Everything I try feels unnatural and unconscious and forced. Excuse me. That's why I can't play well like I used to. I do a lot of stretches from your YouTube videos. Please help me. Okay, so let's talk about that. So number one thing that I recommend for your mouse, the first thing, consider getting a different mouse, all right? Number 2, consider getting an ambidextrous mouse or an ergonomically balanced mouse. Number 3, make sure that, excuse me, in your gaming arena, that your chair is at the proper height, so that when you're playing, that your hand and your wrist are in a neutral position. That you're not playing with your wrist and hands up like this. That when your hand is your forearm is neutral on the table, not flexed, not extended up or flexed down. All right. The second thing is to make sure that you're not squeezing the mouse very intensely when you're playing, because often if you have like what I call the death grip on the mouse, then that can cause this problem with someone's hand and the mouse use. Now, I want to show you some exercises for stretching your hand out when you're using a mouse. So you're going to do this. You're going to just literally take your thumb, bring your thumb in and out, in and out. Call this the roly-poly, in and out. The other thing you're going to do is the index finger to the thumb, index finger to the thumb. Now, you're going to take your 2 fingers, your index and middle finger, to the thumb. All right? Now, your middle finger, index finger, ring finger to the thumb. The next one, your small finger, all the other fingers to the thumb. So again, here to the thumb, here, here, there. Those are things that I'd like you to try to do, all right, for your mouse. And hopefully that will help you. All right. Now, I got one more question. I want to try to get to this. And do the hand stretches also, you know, the in and over here. This will help inside, thumb inside. All right. Now, I want to get to one last question. I just came in to the website. Dr. Levi, I've had a problem with my sleep for some reason. If I do not have to work the next day, no matter what time I go to bed, I can't wake up before 12 noon. Wow. If I have to get up for work, I have no issue getting up early. Do you have any tips? Waking up was never a problem for me in the past until now. And that's from DATGOOD. So let's talk about that. So one thing about sleep is the following. I recommend, again, with sleep, not eating 2 to 3 hours before you go to sleep at night, taking time right before you go to sleep to sit on the side of the bed, to meditate, to be still, to calm your mind, maybe think about things that you're grateful for, to relax. The other thing I find very beneficial with that is to really, when you sit down, to be in a room without the TV on. Don't have your phone right next to you. Put your phone in a different room, because often people will, every time the phone buzzes with some new announcement, they're going to look at their phone. You know, they can do that throughout the night. That's not good. The other thing you might want to try is some meditation music at night, or possibly some nature music like a waterfall or a running creek. You know, water sounds like that will often help people too. All right, so I hope that helps you with your sleep. And also try to get on a schedule where you get in bed at the same time every night, even when you're not working. That may help you. Of course. Well, this is Dr. Levi. Take care, beloved people. Remember, be kind to the veterans. This coming Monday is Veterans Day here. Actually, no. This coming Monday is Memorial Day. So Memorial Day gives us an opportunity to really to think about all the veterans that have sacrificed their lives, everyone who was in battle to sustain the freedoms of this country. So it's a time to really reflect and to be very grateful. It's not just a time to be off work and picnic, but to really be grateful for the contribution that the great women and men of this country have made, and those who have given the ultimate sacrifice, their lives. All right. This is Dr. Levi. I salute the veterans, and I'm grateful for your great services. This is Dr. Levi. Be kind to the veterans. Be kind to other people. And remember, beloved people, I appreciate you. Be kind to yourself. Love yourself. And know that every day is a gift. This is Dr. Levi. I hope this is a helpful day for you. Bye.